we were on a ship called the Chantal, and my mum's family had moved to Australia, and we decided, apparently my dad had read about a book on ship navigation, and we had this boat and we were off to Australia.
So we said, do you think we could sail this boat to Australia?
Here's a song off our high voltage LP, and this one's called Show Business.
Sees the ball ultimately reach number 27, Crespo, for a brilliant try.
We set off with a couple of friends, a Dutchman and his wife, and we said, right, we're going to Australia. We got all the charts out and plotted the course all the way through, and we sailed and we sailed and we sailed, and we got to Gibraltar, and we went into Gibraltar, and that Dutchman and his wife left us there, but there were some strange people at Gibraltar, and we stated what we were doing and immediately got volunteers that wanted to come with us, and we filled up the tanks and we headed on. I said, let's go into Gambia and fuel up and have a couple of days rest, and then we'll go on. And it was while I was there, we were actually fueling up at the time, and this rather strange expatriate white man came over and said, where have you come from? And so I explained, and he said, you are an answer to a dream. He said, I am one of a group of doctor scientists, and we live way, way, way up the river Gambia, and we've got a camp way up there, and we're doing research into mosquitoes and trying to find a cure for malaria. He said, the thing about us is that we're all keen fishermen. You're the boat that could do it. We'd like to hire you. And I said, I'm terribly sorry, but we're leaving the day after tomorrow. And he said to me, no, you can't leave. You've got to take us at least on one trip. And I said, I'm sorry, but we're going. He said, look, there's a group of 7 of us. If you take us on the trip, we'll pay you 500 quid. And I said, oh, what time were you thinking of leaving then?
A cruiser calls at a little British colony tucked away in the midst of French possessions on the West African coast. It's the harbour of Bathurst in Gambia. This is the High Street. You see picturesque coconut trees fringing the market where you buy fruit and nuts and highly coloured fish. Food.
The ship that goes sailing somewhere beyond the sea. She's there watching.
Got to the Gambia, and we had run out of quite a lot of food and everything, and we were living on fishing rice. And then this guy had this massive great watermelon, and he just with a machete went like that and offered it to me and the raid.
One of the scientists had made a radio call, and there was a whole other group of them there that were doing similar stuff, and they wanted to charter me for another 500 quid. And we went out and we were equally successful, and then another group wanted us. And so it went on for about 3 months, and I was going out at least once a week, sometimes twice a week, with a group of these people, game fishing. So I'd become a game fisherman, and we were going into what was the European winter, and these fish, they reckoned, they probably weren't going to be around much longer. So I thought, right, well, this is a chance for me to carry on going to Australia. I was doing quite well for cash by then as well. And they said, no, you can't leave, Don't you realise this is a huge, great tourist place? You could do river trips for us up to various historic places in both the French side and the English, or should I say the Gambian side of where we were going. And so I popped ashore in both places and said, look, I'm going to be coming along with tourists, and they'd like to come and look round your village. Obviously we'll pay you for the privilege. And they're going, oh yeah, it'd be great. I said, okay, fine, but could you pretend to be a little bit hostile? I said, we want to put a bit of showbiz on for them. And they said, yes, okay, we can do that. And they were bringing out big swords and cutlasses. I said, no, don't hurt anybody. I said, let's just, I'll come ashore first while the tourists are still on the boat, and then I'll talk to you, and then if it's all right, you will tell me it's all right to bring the tourists ashore, and I will signal for our other boats to bring the people on shore. And they said, yes, okay, we will do that, we'll help you with that.
Next song we'd like to sing. Is our latest record. Or our latest electronic noise, depending on whose side you're on. Any road, we'd like to carry on with it. It's the last number. We'd like to thank you all for being so wonderful. And it's called Help.
I'd made loads of money, which was great, but I was missing things like frost on the rails in the morning and cold weather and stuff like that. And I was beginning to get homesick, really homesick. And these doctors, they knew that, and they knew that I was going to go home. And they said, well, look, why don't you sell us your boat? And so I said, are you sure you can afford it? And of course they could. They all clubbed together, and I sold the boat for about, I think, 6 times what I actually paid for it to start with. And that was it, My wife and my 2 daughters, we flew back to England.